I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 131, Chopper Attack. Released in 1997, this game was developed by Sega Corporation and published by Midway. I don't know what it is, but it seems there are a weirdly high number of helicopter games on this console. I don't think I'd ever played a game focused on one in my entire life before this challenge. I didn't really know anything about this going in, and it seemed like a lot of my viewers didn't know the game either. I don't know what to expect. Going into this one completely unbiased. Let's get into it. The main single player mode in this game is the mission mode, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. There were a lot of copters to choose to play as. There's Mike in the Sky Turbo, Alicia in the Kolinsky, June in the Reitsu, Hiromitsu in the Gaga, Andy in the Wasp, Danny in the Whale 32, Emma in the Firecat, and Johnny in the Hardbull. I just went with Mike because it's probably the most balanced one considering it's the default choice. It took me to a screen with some general giving me info about the mission. He says it's time to go with the rescue mission we planned. Wait, I wasn't at that meeting. My goal is to destroy all radar installations in enemy territory. It shows a screen with an overview of like what you'll run into in the mission. Then there's a screen where you select what special weapons to buy. I had no clue what the heck I was doing here, but I had $100,000 to blow. Can't let it look like I'm not using the budget I was given, right? They might give me less next year. I just bought as many air and ground homing missiles as I could. And now it's into the gameplay. So there's a mini-map in the corner with red dots indicating all of the primary objectives. I believe the white dots are just structures unrelated to the mission. Something I found quite frustrating with this game is the crosshair on screen just flat out lies to you. Where you shoot is actually quite a bit above it. Also, listen to these super cheesy screams when you shoot people. There weren't too many enemies on this mission, but the ones that were there didn't hesitate to try to blast me with missiles. In general, this is quite an easy level. I just had to fly around and destroy the towers. One thing to keep in consideration is my fuel at the bottom of the screen. It's a built-in time limit for the missions in a way. Once I'd taken down the final radio tower, it instantly said I completed the mission. It gives a stats screen showing how you performed, then lets you save your game. Immediately, it's into mission 2. In this one, there are POWs we have to rescue. We've intercepted a transport plane carrying them that had just landed. This mission had a completely different feel to it. There are a few helipads that have something on them. Looks like one of those bars that lifts up to let you into the parking garage. Anyway, you have to clear those out. Then a transport helicopter shows up to rescue the POWs. If you're wondering how this game controls, it's pretty intuitive. The C buttons move the helicopter forward, backward, left, and right. Then the joystick orients the nose of it to change your elevation and direction. It was in this level that I found my first power-up. It turned my basic gun into 2 basic guns. It's worth it to destroy a lot of the random structures you see in case you find goodies inside. That's the only kind of power-up though, they're not that interesting. This one was a bit more rough than the last, but I still knocked it out in one try. Once that last transport helicopter left, it was over. Heading into mission 3 now, it seems the president of the Republic of Nero has entered enemy airspace by mistake. Not only that, the place he is in is set to have a war within 5 hours. We've got to save him. We can clearly see this airplane is just not doing so hot. Well, maybe it is hot, considering there are volcanoes nearby. Anyway, this is like an escort mission. Just gotta destroy all the aircraft that come in trying to ruin the day. While I was waiting on the final enemy, I decided to blow up this random house and steal all their money. Just a casual little war crime, no big deal. Once I'd killed all the bad guys, it said I beat the mission. I was congratulated on saving the president, but now I had that war breakout that we were told about earlier. It's my job to kill all the enemies at the Agurara volcano range. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and music of the game. The graphics aren't exactly anything to write home about. They're pretty basic, and I think even something like Mario 64 looks better than this. The frame rate is stable though, which is always nice. The music is pretty nice though, in my opinion. It's just constant, high-energy, fast-paced music with a big old bass kick. Plus, you've got the yelling every now and then. There was a new type of ground enemy in this one. It had a big scary face, and it was constantly shooting missiles at me. Strafing side to side while shooting at it was a good way to handle it though. Then there were these red helicopters that had some kind of smoke screen or something to prevent my homing missiles from reaching them. It was frustrating to kill these guys. Either had to try for a Hail Mary with a regular missile, or just slowly do it with the basic machine gun. There were just so many enemies in this mission. I slowly took chip damage the entire time, not to mention how I used up all my fuel. Just didn't quite have the juice to make it, and I had my first death. This is quite possibly one of the weirdest continue screens I've ever seen. It's just a giant hand giving a thumbs up in an empty void. It could be part of some obscure creepypasta for all I know. I think the way this game aims is just so frustrating. If you want to lock on to an enemy for missiles, you've got to point the crosshair at them. But if you do that, then your machine gun shoots way above them. It's just inefficient either way you do it. Despite this trouble, I knocked out this mission on the second try. Now we've learned there's a secret military base underground. Can't be having that now, can we? They're producing chemical weapons in the Compania caves, so yeah, I guess we should stop that. The environment for this is quite different, being in a quarry or whatever this is. There was this gigantic green thing like an excavator or something, but it also had a guy in a turret on the top. What a weird contraption. The things where they were making the chemical weapons were in the corners. I don't know if it's just me, but it just looks like a CPU cooler to me. Then there were these weird propeller drone things. It's getting wild here in the world of Chopper Attack. Once I destroyed everything, a new red dot popped up in the top right corner. This was the first boss of the game, I guess you could call it that. It was some hovercraft just shooting missiles and bullets all over the place. It's able to move around so fast, and I just had a hard time keeping up with it. In the end, I didn't quite have what it took, my second death. I do believe you get infinite continues, which is always nice. Next time around, I came in with more shield left. With some awkward aiming while strafing, I took down the menace and beat the level. Next up, the enemy has obtained bombers with air-to-air missile capability, whatever that means. We have to destroy them because that sure sounds scary. Now even the troops were annoying. There's these like muscular guys with their shirt off and a bazooka on their shoulder, and somehow they can tank hits from the helicopter. They run around so fast and they're a pain to aim at. The bomber planes are so big and tanky and they fly high and it's just hard to hit them. My biggest problem here was running out of fuel rather than my shield. You can't hit them with any kind of homing missile either because they have that smoke screen thing. The play here was to not buy the homing missiles for the first time. I bought these cheap spammable ones and they worked quite well considering how big these guys are. As if those shirtless dudes aren't annoying enough, if you fly too low, they literally jump and hang onto the back of the helicopter and it makes it awful to fly around. Oh man, I hate them. Finally, I managed to destroy one of the bombers. Unfortunately, there are 4 of them in total. Oh my god, it's so frustrating to die with just one enemy left. It took 4 or 5 tries to beat this one, but I was home free after the last dude was blown up. Well, this is it. Apparently Mission 7 is the final battle. The enemy has its most powerful missiles and it's going to launch its final assault. The commander tells me to be a wild man, whatever that's supposed to mean. This mission had some ICBM carriers, which yeah, we definitely gotta get rid of these. And of course that Rambo dude or whoever this is supposed to be is still here jumping onto my copter. Oh my god, get lost dude. I cannot stand this enemy. But I gotta admit, it's a very creative thing they threw in. This mission is just so long and chaotic. I would die and just feel so bad about it. Even if I was doing well on my health, there was still the limit to my fuel. Ugh, it's frustrating. After like 5 tries, I saved the day, beating the final mission. It shows a cutscene where your helicopter is flying around some mountain range, and then there's a massive flying saucer out of nowhere. And then it just says game over. What the heck, man? So this is where it gets weird. There is an expert difficulty you can play on, but apparently it just ends after Mission 7 as well. I didn't test it myself personally, but that is what I was told. Now, the thing is, there's a debug menu the devs left in, and you can access it with a code you can easily find by searching. This gives you a level select of sorts. Using this, you can get access to the real final mission, replacing Stage 6. The General informs us there are traces of alien life in the enemy camp. It turns out the real enemy was in the moon this entire time. We're now trying to save humanity itself. So yeah, now we're on the moon. There's these flying saucers that are just so annoying, they move way too fast. The real thing to watch out for is the freaking massive mothership. It has these blue glass orbs on the bottom, and the goal is to destroy every single one of them. All the while, these smaller flying saucers are causing chaos and just generally being a nuisance. Once I'd blown all the orbs up, I was able to destroy the one in the center. This sent the mothership into a frenzy, launching constant lasers and now homing missiles at me. It wasn't dealing all that much damage though. Despite all that, I took the mothership out on my very first try. Wow, that was easy. Or so I thought. In an insane twist, there was a rival helicopter pilot inside the mothership the entire time. This is the true final boss. This thing sucks to deal with. It gets a shield every so often and it's just invincible when it's up. Not to mention how fast it's flying around. It felt like this guy had infinite HP. I shot him so much and it was just never enough. I had died and I knew I had to destroy that stupid mothership all over again to get another chance. It was after this death I noticed there was a new weapon to purchase, an alien plasma bomb. It says it's for counter UFO measures, which sounds perfect in this scenario. When that rival copter came out, I was ready to blow it up with some good old plasma. However, I completely whiffed. Well, that's 10,000 bucks down the drain. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, dude, I can't stay locked on for more than like 3 frames. I'm blaming it on the smoke screen. I bet you can't even hit him with homing attacks anyway. I figured since he was moving so fast, maybe I should try a different helicopter. So I went with June, who had the highest acceleration. I feel like it didn't make all that much of a difference, but you know what? It was good enough. Oh man, I did not like this boss fight. It shows a cutscene with you landing at a rocket launch site and some scientists are celebrating your victory. Is it just me, or are they all wearing lab coats with nothing under it? How weird. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Chopper Attack. What an interesting game. This feels like one of those games you would find in a massive bin with uncategorized N64 games going for $5 each. In all honesty, it wasn't half bad. It controlled really well and there was a good variety of enemies. Plus, the music was nice. I'd say my biggest complaint in this game is that it's just way too short. The core gameplay loop is repetitive, but the objective and aesthetics in each mission change it up enough to keep it interesting. You probably wouldn't ever give this game a try, but if you're looking for a new retro game to play, maybe this could be it for you. I gave it a 6 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 4 out of 10 for difficulty. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. So there's 259 currently on the list. Could be anything not Final Fantasy VII, that was never released. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh wait, that's the wrong. I clicked on OBS, not the actual button. Go. 30. What's that? Oh, we are playing the next Bomberman game, which is Bomberman Hero. I've never played this one, so this might be fun. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.